Hi, I'm Christine Cushing, and welcome to another helping of my favorite foods. Today, I want to give you my take on a classic Northern Italian show-stopping dessert. It's a crowd pleaser, and it's a bit of a pick-me-up. Get ready for tiramisu. Traditional ingredients, but not so traditional assembly. Let's get started. Step one is to make what's called a zabaione, or in French, sabayon. It's basically an egg yolk custard. So there's going to be three components to this. We're going to make a zabaione, then we're going to make a cream that's really with the mascarpone, and then a little bit of whipped cream. Blend layers of that and take these beautiful Savoiardi biscuits, dip them in some espresso, and it's going to be a thing of beauty. Okay, so step one, good quality eggs. So here, I'm going to separate 3 yolks for my zabaione. Don't worry too much about how much of everything I'm using because I'm going to give you my recipe. So, 3 eggs, separated. I'm just using the yolks today. Look at that. Easy to do it by hand, just like that. So a traditional way to make a zabaione without using any kind of measuring cups is to just use the shell of the egg. You just use 1 eggshell of Marsala and 1 eggshell of sugar, and that makes the perfect ratio. So if you don't have measuring utensils, just use your shells. Simple as that. Look at the Marsala and sugar all going in. Step 1 of the zabaione is to really dissolve that sugar in the Marsala with the yolk. Okay, going over the top of this. I don't want the bottom of my bowl necessarily touching. And now, figure 8, baby, figure 8. Needless to say, when you're making a good zabaione or sabayon, you got to use that arm strength. You say, okay, I'm whisking, and you're whisking, you're stirring like this. No. That's not stirring. This isn't whisking. This is tickling the egg yolks. This is going to make a very heavy zabaione. Get that air going in there as the egg yolks are cooking. This will take about 6 or 7 minutes. You don't have to do it constantly, but you want to make sure you keep mounting that air. Part 2, let me introduce you to somebody you're gonna love. Mascarpone. To that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of liquid cream, just to loosen it up a bit. Every now and then I take it off the heat just to ensure that the temperature is right and my egg yolks aren't cooking, right? Look at that. You see how it's already getting nice and fluffy? But we know it's not ready yet because it's not holding a trail. You see how this just falls off my whisk? Not ready yet. It's gonna go back on the heat, continue to whisk. Okay, now because this, let's call it cream cheese or mascarpone, is pretty rich, we're going to divide a little bit of whipping cream in between this and the finished sabayon. So I've got a little whipped cream on the back. I'm going to get it. This is kind of whipped a little bit under, so you'll see here it looks a little bit loose. I'm allowing for just a little bit more whipping as I add some lemon zest and vanilla to this. The zest of 1 lemon to that. I think it's finally done. Let me just show you. Yeah, definitely. So the test is this. If it leaves a trail, I could just write 1 initial and I could see it. After that, it falls away. So everybody's at a good temperature. Now we're gonna start dividing things up. So zabaione, mascarpone, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of cream in here, a little bit of cream in there, and then I'm gonna save some for the end, just to lighten that up. It's really about lightening with air. Now, if I taste this, it's just gonna taste like sweet cream, not sugary, because I'm anticipating all the other sugary elements. This is gonna go in the fridge while I assemble everything else. So now I want to fold these gently. I don't want to collapse all that beautiful cream. So I'm just gonna fold. Oh, yeah. So the two creams are all ready to go. Now it's assembly time. What I'm doing here, I said at the beginning, it was traditional ingredients, but not quite traditional assembly. So here's what I thought of. This, by the way, is some espresso. I always, again, use great quality espresso. And these Savoiardi biscuits, I just bought ladyfingers. You can make them yourself. That would be great. I love making ladyfingers. So coffee, I'm gonna enhance that coffee flavor with a little bit of Kahlua, a coffee flavor liqueur. You can go in with all kinds of other things, brandy, whatever you want, but I like the Kahlua in here. Okay, we're gonna shake that up. And I like doing it in a shallow vessel like this because it's easier to dip them. You don't want them to sit in here, and you want this to be cold, right? Now, instead of doing it in the typical pan, which is very, I don't know, the word is, it's just very utilitarian, I find. I wanted to give it a bit more pow. So I thought of, this is sort of a, reminded me of a charlotte. This is a French dessert. So it's kind of a charlotte and a tiramisu mashup. I line this bowl with some plastic wrap, just in a crisscross all the way around, like that, so that when I fill it, I can wrap it like this and then chill it in the refrigerator. So this is gonna come out easily. That's why we do that. What I wanna do now is line the outside of this bowl with the Savoiardi biscuits that are dipped, because then they're gonna be pliable, right? Just like a sponge cake. Now the thing is, they don't exactly fit, so I want to trim them. So this is a little bit, again, of a pastry chef just trimming. I would say just like that much on top. And I'm just going to do that to however many I'm going to use around the edge. I think that should be enough. I can always adjust as I'm going. And by the way, this is just something I came up with. Of course, you can do this exact same recipe, just layering it in something like this. This is just another notch. So dipping, just in, flip, and that's it. So dip, flip, and take it out. I like to do the flat side on top so that it kind of lines up. But you don't need to be too fussy, right? So dip, flip. Now what's deceiving here is, you see how long I just left it in there? It feels like they're still crunchy, but right away they absorb the coffee and then they'll just completely fall apart. So make sure you don't leave them in there, and for sure the coffee can't be hot. All right, I'm gonna put some crumbs in there and just make that be my bottom, so to speak. Because this is all gonna be absorbed in all those great creams, right? That's gonna make up my bottom. And then we alternate. So, alternating a little bit of this cream. A lot of times people just combine these two, but I like the alternate cream, so you get a different textural contrast inside. Another layer of ladyfingers or Savoiardi. And then you just kind of mess them up however they fit in the bowl or the vessel that you're using. Look at that. That is the zabaione with a little bit of cream mixed in. That's going in now. I'm gonna go in again with the Savoiardi. All of these flavors are gonna marry. Everything's gonna be tasting of the other. It's so great. So I alternated those layers. I'm ending with a ladyfinger because that's gonna be flipped over. So that's what I wanna be on the bottom, and I want it to be cakey so that it actually stands, right? Now I cover with this plastic, and ideally, or let's say you must do this overnight because you really want it to be firm, right? Fridge, 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours later, look what we have. Coffee, oh, Marsala. Now, here's what I want to do. And with a little bit of luck, because I'm actually flying by the seat of my pants here. Truth be told, I'm taking a bit of a chance. I've never done it this way before, but I thought this would be the perfect opportunity. Let's see, is it gonna be epic yay or epic what? So here's my little trick. I bought some cake rounds and that gives me some stability here. So I just wanna match it to the size of the bottom here. And then that's why I put the plastic in so that it will unmold. Let me just put it right. Yeah, come on. I forgot to tell you, we're going old school. I'm bringing out the turntable. Look at that. So what I thought is I want to give it a little shape, kind of like a beehive. So I'm going to show you kind of an interesting technique to just do a simple masking of a cake, any kind of cake. And this was my leftover whipped cream. All I want to do is mask the top of it just lightly because that's a tiramisu. It's got whipped cream or a cream on its outer layer, right? So the key here is to keep your palette knife just on a little angle and just turn the table. You don't move your knife. And you create these beautiful, kind of this little beehive pattern. How cool is that? Just something interesting. Now, of course, it's got to have the cocoa. So I've got some beautiful quality. This is unsweetened cocoa that I'm going to dust with. To heighten that chocolate, I just put a little good couverture, so a good quality chocolate, bittersweet, on a piece of parchment paper and chilled it. Just so we can create a little, you know, abstract. How cool is this? Now it doesn't look like a tiramisu, but when we slice it, it's going to be. So that's the whole point of traditional ingredients, but a little bit atypical presentation. It's kind of like chocolate leather I'm making here. I like it. What do you think? All right, who wants a slice of tiramisu? Now, keeping in mind, that looks perfect if you ask me. Oh, see now it just flipped over, but it's fine. And look at those beautiful layers. You see how you get the great zabaione and then the layer of mascarpone. Oh, it looks freaking good. And then, you know, you can also have a little piece of that chocolate leather. Come on. That is... I need some Italian citizenship. I'm gonna go to Venice right now, to Treviso, and ask for Italian papers. And you should get them too if you master this. What I love and why I make it this way is it's not sweet. So many desserts, layer upon layer upon layer of sugar. Here you get the coffee, you get the Marsala, you get all those layers. It picks you up and then it calms you down. Mmm. Really good. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you so much for joining me on another helping of my favorite foods. Please subscribe, help me grow this channel. I want to share all my food inspiration with you. See you next time.